What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Peter Eichemann's here alongside Andrew Goldfarb.
How's it going?
And we're taking a look at the reveal trailer for Assassin's Creed 3 and digging into all the nitty-gritty details of the things we learn right off the bat. So let's get started right now and show you guys a couple things we're talking about to learn about what the game's all about and where it's going. First up, right here. What do you see, Andrew?
Well, so this is 1777, and we know that that is halfway through when the game takes place.
Yeah, the game spans from 1753 to 1783, and those are significant dates, right?
Right, so 1753 is the French and Indian War, and 1783 is when the Treaty of Paris was signed that ended the American Revolution.
Okay, so 1777, like you said, is kind of right in the middle, right in the bulk of the fighting. And here it says we're in the Mohawk Valley, which is in upstate New York, between the Adirondack and Catskill Mountains, which follows the Mohawk River, which if we kind of skew forward just a little bit, you can see, just as the eagle flies out of the way, the river is cutting through the middle of the picture here. But it's also significant because the eagle has been such a key feature of the key, symbol of the Assassin's Creed franchise so far. I mean, we had eagle vision. Yep. We had the eagle circling viewpoint, where you gather map data throughout, and it makes a lot of sense. And bald eagle, America.
Yeah, and you also collected feathers in a couple of the games.
Good point, exactly. So let's keep digging in. We know where we're at, and definitely it's an Assassin's Creed game. So right here again, we're fighting the British.
We are.
We're about to see, we have a British flag here, tri-corner hat, and kind of the bloody mess left behind from our new hero.
And we should also briefly mention that, so this footage is in-engine
Yes.
rather than in-game, which is why with those snow effects and those wind effects, you see it looking like pretty great. Like,
Exactly.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, so we have first look at the back of our new hero here. His name is Connor. How do you pronounce his last name?
Radun Hageddu, I believe.
Absolutely. And we see his trusty axe in his hand, which is actually in the shape of the Assassin's logo. And you're going to be seeing that a lot throughout the trailer as he's taking out some of these British guys. But let's take it back just a little bit real quick to see right here, just the digital imaging. We're back in the Animus.
We are.
If anyone remembers when Assassin's Creed Revelation ended, Desmond had gotten out of a coma and he was headed to upstate New York. Sorry about the spoilers. But this kicks off with the Animus 3.0 and what Desmond's doing next, which is all about upstate New York here as well. So we're in nighttime, and then we're in daytime. What do you think this is telling us about the game?
So apparently the game will go through day and night cycles, and also weather cycles.
Interesting. So, I mean, this trailer is all about the snow and the winter of battle, but you're saying that we're also going to see summer.
Could be.
Could be. Excellent. Let's go back real quick, though, because there's an interesting element that we haven't seen too much in the other games, and that is animals.
That's true. So apparently, kind of like a Red Dead Redemption type thing, you'll be able to hunt animals, and depending on the quality of your kill, you'll be able to sell their pelts for varying values.
And from what we see here, it looks like they might clean up after Connor as well.
It does look like it.
Kind of clean up the mess of everything that's going on. So yeah, we have a day-night cycle. We have some new, kind of horrifying. Let's go back real quick.
That
We
kill
have
is so
a
brutal.
crazy new execution move that involves both impaling the soldier on his own bayonet and then using the axe to pull the trigger. And it's gnarly. So here's a good look, actually. Let's keep it stopped right here, of Connor up close. What we can see is the eagle emblem on his hood, which our other assassins haven't had yet, right?
Right, so Ezio and Altair had like the triangle coming down in the front of their hood, but this is the first time there's like any kind of imagery there. And as you mentioned earlier, the eagle is so important.
Exactly, and we can see here two hints of the weapons he's carrying in addition to that axe, which is the longbow and quiver of arrows. But actually, let's pull it back a little bit because we notice something right here under his right arm. You can see a holster for an old-style pistol. And behind that one, actually, you can see a second one, which we're thinking is indicating, here's a better look at that, is that he might be able to dual-wield pistols in addition to his axe. And I think we might have passed by, but he's actually dual-wielding through this whole fight. If we stop right here, on his left hand there, he has a blade that's not the hidden blade.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing, so, in Assassin's Creed 2, of course, you could get a sword, you could get all kinds of different weapons, but it's interesting already seeing how different Connor's weapons seem to be.
Exactly. And what everyone's been pointing out and what we've noticed, you don't actually see the hidden blade in this trailer at all. but Ubisoft has confirmed that we will get to use the Hidden Blade, because I don't see how the game could work without it. So let's keep moving along here, because there's just so much going on in this short time. There's certainly a lot to talk about. And what we're going to see right up after this is a big new element of getting through the world, after, he takes out a few more redcoats. But what Assassin's Creed 3 is looking to be all about is travel through the trees. So, I mean, what do you think about this? How has what we've seen in the other Assassin's Creed built into what we see now?
This is, I think, a really creative way of replacing, the parkour, climbing up buildings. Like, I think it was very heavily wooded back then. This is before we built all our shopping malls and Walmarts everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes perfect sense for the franchise.
And it's interesting because it's tough to tell from this little clip. It looks almost like there's routes in the trees. Like he's running up logs, he's swinging from a few branches, so it's unclear as to just how much freedom you're going to have when you're swinging through the trees.
It's true. And, it also makes his attire interesting because, some people have been saying that it seems like he won't be able to blend into the environment as well as previous Assassins. But, I mean, if he's running through snow-covered trees with his white hood, like, he's pretty hard to see here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what we notice, too, when we get this glimpse of him here, he has a little bit of the blue stitched onto his uniform, which I don't know if that's an indication that he's not with the Redcoats. Because I don't know if it was such a, strong color connection to people that maybe he passes in the cities as he's going. This is maybe an indication, I'm with you guys.
Yeah, it seems almost like adapted from the colonial uniform, right?
Exactly. And this is going to be his first approach upon, the greater conflict. And we get a huge glimpse of this valley. If you look right now, it's interesting to see on the left-hand side we have the British, completely uniform, lined up, organized. On the right-hand side, it's a bit more of a mess, a bit of a jumble. So we have the colonials fighting here. We've been trying to track down exactly what battle this is, and from the setting in the Mohawk Valley and the year, the closest thing seems to be the Battle of Fort Stanwix, which Colonel Barry St. Leger of the British was coming up the Mohawk Valley, down the Mohawk River, but he was headed off actually by Benedict Arnold and the colonialists. But what doesn't support that theory is actually the appearance of a certain face that I think has been confirmed, and we are all saying is George Washington.
It looks a lot like a $1 bill.
Well, tell us a little bit about what we see here, Andrew.
So in the background, we see the 13-star American flag, which is spot on for 1777. I believe this is the Betsy Ross flag.
Yeah, but I think different sources report that didn't actually pop up for a few more years from when this is supposed to be. But I think symbolically it's such a clear representation of, the colonials and the rebellion that it had to make an appearance.
Right, absolutely. And, our previous flag had like the British Union Jack, so it wouldn't have stood out as well. But yeah, so this is pretty clearly Washington, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, Ubisoft has confirmed at least 3 historical figures, and that's George Washington, Ben Franklin, and Charles Lee. Charles Lee was another general in the colonial army who was working his way up the ranks, and then he kind of lost the head job to George Washington. So we don't know how that's going to play out yet, but that might be a sort of backstabbing element. This is conjecture. Let's stick to the facts, Andrew.
Let's do it. Very briefly, Benjamin Franklin. Also
exactly, yes. And so, as you can see here, he's giving his rousing speech, and we can see just how what a ragtag bunch of the colonials are, because their uniforms are all different colors. They're fighting for their own freedom, and things are messy, as we can see.
It's true, and it also, looking at any of these guys, it's very interesting seeing how Connor's outfit kind of is pretty similar.
Exactly.
It has the two-tone thing going for it. It has like the brim in one color. I think he would actually fit in pretty well.
Yeah, so I mean, this is all we think we can pull out of this initial trailer. We're going to be learning a lot more in the coming months. And stay tuned on IGN.com for all things Assassin's Creed 3.